I'm Doth Savick, and this is my review for the Dynamic Discs Paratrooper. DD was nice enough to send me this bag out for review. I didn't pay anything for it. Big thanks to DD. I really appreciate that. That's the second bag they've sent over to me for review, so very, very thankful for that. This bag does retail for $89.99 and it weighs 2.06 kilos. That makes it a hefty unit, and it for sure feels solid. It's kind of a it's a box on your back for the most part. At that weight, it puts it up with what else do I have? The Prodigy BP1V3 is just a touch heavier, and the DD Commander bag is just a touch lighter than this. Now, a big bulk of the weight from this bag is the hard panels that you put in it. This bag does require assembly when it ships to you, and these are the panels right here. There's 4 panels. These are super stiff. Very thick, and they've got a lot of heft to them. Now, you might be wondering, why does the bag look so good without any of the panels in there? And I got to give a shout out to Disc Golf Nerd. I'm sure if you found me on YouTube, you already know who he is. If you don't, check out his channel. This is one of the bags that he's testing right now. I'm sure that his review will be out soon. If you're watching this, sometime after I've released it, his review is probably already out. He's the one that gave me a tip. He's like, hey, do me a favor, pull the panels out of it and try it without the panels in there and see what you think. And he was spot on. I mean, look at this thing. It's a normal bag without having these panels in there, and that's something that we'll dig into as we go through this review. But I'll tell you right up front, with these 4 panels removed, that's removing 688 grams. That is 4 discs at 100 if they're 172 grams each. So you can get a chunk of weight out of this bag. Now, I said the bag weighs 2.06. That's including these panels. If I remove all 4 of them, then the remaining weight of the bag empty is 1.37. That suddenly puts this bag in a completely different weight class. I'm talking lighter than the Prodigy BP2, the next bag down. There's not a whole lot of bags that are as light as this once we get some of these panels removed. I'm going to go ahead and put all of them back in the bag right now, and then we'll dig into it. And boom, we're back. Bag assembled. Magic. One of the One of the first things that is probably going to catch your eye when you look at this bag, try it on, check it out, is the width. It's a wide one. It is super wide. What really gives it that feel and look is just how big these bottle holders are. The overall width of the disc compartment and the side of the storage pockets on the side, it's in pretty normal territory. The fact that these water bottle holders aren't swung around to the corner like a lot of bags do, or that they're not just smaller, gives it a super wide feel. That may affect some of the carts that it fits in, how it could fit in carts, and just the feel of it. Like when it's actually on my back, I'm not like digging elbows into the bottle holders or anything. They aren't sitting like super close to the back. They are pushed out. But if you're, okay, so like my garage is a little bit tight, and as I'm swinging around the corner, I'm like getting sideways or whatever so that I don't drag these against the wall. And I don't have to do that with all bags. So it is one that you're possibly going to notice that with. This bottle holder on this side, like I've got a Nalgene in there, and you can see that with the drawstring that we've got added on there, I have a lot of material to cinch to get it to pull up tight to my 32-ounce Nalgene. I don't know what bottle couldn't fit in here. It is giant. And I've even got a hockey puck underneath that right now, and so it'll really swallow a Nalgene. You could crimp around the top so it's not so that bottle really won't even come out of there if you need to latch super tight. That does make it just kind of swallow up a 12-ounce can, as you can see I've got in that side. What I've started to do to help stop a can from just wanting to like completely fall over is to bundle up a towel and jam it in the bottom there. That's a pretty big towel that I've got, and that just helps hold the can in place a little bit better. At first, it was annoying to have the can sort of tip over or have that much room, but I don't have an issue with that. It's actually a good additional spot to jam a towel in there, so I feel like that's no problem with that, with the giant size water bottle holders, other than maybe aesthetics or that extra width that you get with it. Everything, with exception of this Nalgene here, is how I've had this bag load out for the rounds that I've been testing it. I just put this Nalgene in there so that I could show you how it fit a bottle of that size. I'm not haven't been carrying that many fluids. Off my left shoulder, I will have a 12-ounce can over there, and then depending on what kind of round I'm playing, I'm going to have some additional cans in this pocket here. I put 4 in today, 2 on top, 2 on bottom. A lot of times that's just 3. I'll carry maybe 4 cans for a round. Inside that pocket there is a little mesh keeper. I have not used that for anything yet. It is a great spot for a cell phone. Like you're quite well protected if you put your phone in there. You got the whole extra layer of material out here. It's not totally down at like toe kick height, and it'll keep it pretty securely. I have been just using these pockets for other things. So again, just my cell phone hasn't been living there. Where I have been putting my cell phone is in the very top, the top zipper pocket here. I don't love putting my phone, wallet, and keys all in the same pocket, but that is what I've been doing here. Dropping my cell phone in there. I actually don't have my car keys back here with me right now, but that is where they've been living, with my wallet. And then I've been trying to make myself use this rangefinder more so I can get kind of a little bit used to it, and I've been dumping it up in there as well. So you can tell there's plenty of space in that top pocket. I have tried putting discs in there as well. I've moved, and thought, okay, what if I want to put 1 or 2 putters here and use this as valuable storage instead? And it just doesn't work that. I want the bigger one for putters is the bottom line. And you can see I've got 3 in there right now, and there's room for more discs. You could pack a lot up there if you wanted to. I have a total of 18 discs in the bag right now, and that's not getting close to its max capacity. I've got 6 drivers, and then, oh wait, no, I lied. That's 9. 3, 6, yeah, 9 drivers, and then 6 mids and putters. And then I've got my jacket stashed off to the side. We're at that time of year where, like, yeah, there's some nice warm days, but it can switch on you so fast. You don't want to be caught without a lightweight layer. And I've been carrying a little bit more streamlined selection of discs, so this just works perfect for me to stick my jacket in there. Now I've got all kinds of different options for that. The last round I played, I had this jacket on and off multiple times, and I ended up having it live in this cup holder on the side for a while, for a couple of the times that I took it on and off. So that's not something you can do on a whole lot of bags. Definitely taking advantage of that, huge capacity of that bottle holder over there by throwing a jacket in. And then, I've got room then to put in another 4 discs pretty easy. And suddenly, I'm at 22 discs in the bag. That's still not utilizing the other disc compartments that this bag has. We've got the traditional flap across the top there. You can easily fit 1 driver. 2 gets a little funky, but it is possible. And then we've also got this flap down here with a little bit of elastic across the top. That's where I've been putting my mini marker. It's a huge spot for a mini marker. You don't have a whole lot of other options. I don't generally like putting anything here. It makes the discs harder to get in and out on most bags. This one is not an exception. So my mini marker has just been living in here. You've got plenty of extra room. You could throw scorecards. This is also where I've been dropping pencils and Sharpies, because you don't really have another spot. You can drop them in your top zipper for valuable storage. You've got the little mesh inside here. You could drop them down in that area, but they lay pretty nice across the bottom. In fact, they're still in there. I couldn't remember if I'd taken them out or not. They're just so low profile. Once they get all the way down there, there's a couple pencils in there, and my Sharpie I might still have a Sharpie in there too. I can't tell. Not the easiest to retrieve, but let's be real. Most people aren't using pencils and Sharpies, but the rare Sharpie to sign a disc or something like that, and everybody's on their phones for scorecards these days. On the other side, I'm again just hardly utilizing the space that I've got over here. I could put my jacket, that lightweight jacket, in there as well. I've got my standard little kit that I throw in every bag, hand sanitizer now, sunblock, and then my little zippered bag with all the little extra things I might need during a random round. This bag has a really unique piece of webbing sewn across both sides, and it's set up daisy chain style, so there's a little stitching that divides them. I've done this a couple times now, these little, I was going to have one of these ready, but luckily I do have one in the background. These little rubberized ties, and just sliding it right down through there. And then with a tripod, a monopod, I've also tried it with quick stick, I can take those and jam them down inside the bottle holder, or with the double zipper that we've got, I can create a gap however big I want and put my monopod or whatever it is in there, and then take that little twist tie, that rubber twist tie, and wrap around it. And it keeps whatever I've got in there super secure. A lot of bags will have a little buckle mechanism up here, or some Velcro or something that you can use to clamp down on your stool or your umbrella or any of those other things that I just mentioned. And I don't know exactly what DD's intent was by putting these here. If they thought people will clip a carabiner on there and just hang tags or towels or whatever, but this works really nice. And because it's like a smaller gap, it lets me really just like tighten down on whatever I'm trying to attach there. The backpack straps don't have a sternum strap across. I'm actually not sure I realized that until I just looked at them now. I just don't clip sternum straps in that often. I think it's a great feature. When you want them, they're really nice to have. But that is one of the corners that DD cut on this bag to get that price down lower. The padding is stiff inside these straps. I think that it's got to be pretty close to the same as what's on the DD Commander. I don't have a Commander bag here, so I can't compare them side by side. We've got the traditional, bridge between those two straps to use as a haul loop. And then on the back, we've got three padded sections. Now, we'll get back to talking about those hard panels. We have one hard panel that covers the whole back of the bag, and then at 90-degree angles we have the two side panels. That makes for a stiff back. I used the word box when I was describing it earlier, and it is. You put it on and you feel square. There's just like a big hard chunk on your back. The pads do their job, but it is not a flexible bag that just kind of wraps around your back when you hunch. That can be fixed. You can pull those panels in different sets to achieve different things with this bag. And I tried a few different ways. I think that there are combinations that for most people will improve how the bag works by changing those around. And I'll get into that in just a bit here. On the bottom of the bag, you can see we've got the two hard plastic runners. Also shows the kind of drain holes that we've got in the bottom of the bottle holders. The last thing I want to talk about before starting playing with some different panel combinations is the way that we have three different like segments to the upper part of the bag here. We've got that valuable storage pocket, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call this one putter pocket, and then we also have the front flap. Those three elements all interact with each other and really change how easy it is and convenient, I guess, to pull discs in and out of the main compartment. Looking around and getting some feedback from other people, that was the number one complaint that I saw about this bag, is that it's just not easy to pull discs out. You can see we've got a really high cut on this front opening. Again, it kind of makes me wish I had the Commander bags here. The two different versions of the Commander bag. There's the cooler version that has that cooler you can set in there. On that version, it has a really high cut. I think that this cut is that high on this bag. On the regular Commander version, they don't need to bring that cut as high to match the height of the cooler, so it comes down. And I wonder why they didn't do that on this bag. Because if this cut was about an inch lower, it immediately kind of solves the issue with how hard that you have to fight to get these discs in and out. I'm not full. Like I've got room to take four more discs in there, and you can still see that I have a lot of collision going on as I'm trying to pull those discs out, and I've got room for them to kick sideways. If you actually pack that all the way across, it gets particularly difficult to try to pull discs out of either of the sides. One of the things that you can do to make that easier to get those discs in and out is to remove the front hard panel. There's one right here. As soon as that panel is gone, it allows this fabric to stretch more, and the discs are easier to get in and out. That alone is a huge improvement, and it's pretty easy to do. There's just a zipper right across the front. You can pull that panel out. Or if you're watching this before you've got your Paratrooper in, I'd recommend trying your bag first without putting that panel in there. The other element besides the low portion here that makes it a little bit difficult to deal with these discs is that the main flap here doesn't want to stay velcroed to the rear wall, and I've already made a small modification to help. I know in my last review I said I didn't want to make a habit of talking about modding bags, but I just couldn't pass this one up. So I'll show you what I've done. You can see that on the main flap here we have Velcro. That is designed to mate with the first Velcro strip that is on the putter pocket. On the back of the putter pocket we've got a second piece of Velcro, and that is designed to hit the Velcro on the rear wall. Now this wall, this is kind of a fake panel. It's got zipper around, and that's how we slide the stiff panel in. That means this can kind of pull forward a little bit. The adjustment that I made is with the next pocket up there. This guy dangling right here. That's what I've got. My wallet and rangefinder and my cell phone is all hanging in there right now. So it's pretty heavy stuff. The change that I've made is how far this bag hangs down. If you look at that on yours right now, you'll see that the bottom of this hangs down below the Velcro. The reason that's an issue is that anytime you have something of weight in there, it breaks this pocket from Velcroing against the back wall, which means the weight of your putters swings down and pushes this so that your bag is like that now. It keeps all of the weight of that and stops this from sticking backwards. You can pull it up and stick all the Velcro, but then as soon as you drop something in here, you hear that Velcro start to and pull back apart again. What I did to shorten that up was I just took a safety pin. So I just folded up the corners on that and put a safety pin right through it. I mean, it's nothing fancy. It's really just a totally temporary thing. You can see how it was holding it just like that. If I take that apart, you see how much longer that pocket gets. And you can see now that it hangs down well below that Velcro spot. So there, I've stuck the Velcro to the back wall, and then if I just reach down through here and slowly slide my fingers down, I'm sure my mic picked that up. You could just hear the Velcro all rip back apart. That was like the first pictures that I took of this and posted on Instagram. You just see that everything is just forward, and it's just messing with the discs. it wasn't that pleasant to work with. But that one simple little trick, just a tiniest little safety pin, you could figure out something if you want, to be a little bit cleaner, nicer. And combined with pulling this panel out, it totally rounded the corner for me on this bag. Like, it seems like it's, I think it's a good value for $90. As soon as I got to the point where it was easy for me to pull those discs in and out, I stopped thinking about it. I didn't even notice that anymore. The next thing that I tried after pulling the front panel, again, Disc Golf Nerd was like, "Hey, pull them all, give it a shot." And I'm just like, I don't know, man. But I slowly got to it. I pulled this front panel out first. The next thing I did was pull the back panel, and wow, like that made the bag then wrap around my back, which is one of the things for like the Prodigy bags that I like the most about them. I can't tell you how much more comfortable it made this. That word that I've used a couple times to describe this now, boxy, that also totally went out the window. So again, I encourage you to give that a shot or start there. As far as the side panels in there, I think it's fine with them in or out. At first, I thought as soon as I pull them out, the bag's just going to collapse. I've already taken the front panel out. I've already taken the back panel out. There's going to be nothing left. I wasn't right. The reality is that even so that hard panel is from the inside. Closer to the outside, there's thick foam in there, and you can feel that. Give it a squish. There's like solid foam all across that side panel. That's enough to give the bag a pretty good amount of rigidity, even with the hard side panels removed. Now, you do start to get, you can kind of see it as, even though I have all of the panels in and I don't have weight in these, this little part kind of sags down, and it just looks so much nicer if you keep that zipper closed. So unless you're grabbing your cell phone in and out for scores, which I have been doing, you might want to leave that zipper closed just because the whole top looks so much nicer that way. If you pull the back panel, this starts to collapse a little bit more, and you see even a little bit more of that come together. Cosmetically, it's not great. It's not affecting access to the putters or here. If you do pull side panels, then the top does do a little bit more of that is what you start to see, and maybe over time it really would start to squeeze the top together. So you got to decide what you're after. Put the back panel back in, remove the sides for weight savings, or leave the sides in and take that back panel out. Once I removed all of the panels, or tried them out in those different configurations, it started making me wonder why are they so thick, and why did DD have the idea that all of them were needed, like especially just this one across the front. There's, in my opinion, no downside to pulling this one out. The other three panels, there are trade-offs, but that front one in particular, no downside on it. It lets the front bow out when you're pulling discs. It just makes such an improvement there. But after trying them in those different configurations, I'm kind of happy I had all four. It gives you a lot of options for how you want to set the bag up. Durability is a hard thing for me to address. I'm just not great at that. I use bags for pretty short periods of time to, test out the function of all of them and then, make these reviews. So I'm not the right guy to ask about that. There are, a number of other videos and stuff that have been made on these. Really, the Paratrooper is going to need to be out for a few years, I think, before we get to see how well they're holding up to abuse. I think this is a great option. What I want to compare this against, at least the stuff that I've already reviewed, is Prodigy. Like, this really seems close to at first I wanted to say the BP1 V3, But the BP1 has like the full length side pocket, so it has a ton more storage. Like the overall size on that bag is insane. But this is close to it weight-wise, so I felt like that they were the two to compare. But then if you do some of the weight reduction on this, then it's really closer to the weight of the BP2. But I don't have the BP2 here to compare like the overall size. But I feel like they're good contenders. One of the main things that sets this apart from those bags is the feel of the fabric used on this. On those Prodigy bags, it's a really lightweight ripstop fabric, and that's part of how those bags, get those really low weight numbers overall. This is not that. This wasn't. I don't think that a super lightweight was on their mind when they were choosing these fabrics. This has a really nice textured, woven feel to it. And in quite a few places, you even have extra padding, and that's kind of what DD did on the Combat Ranger as well. And that's one thing that really makes that bag feel more luxurious. It's the soft feel, like even throughout here, there's padding in there. A bunch of the logos are embroidered. That's just like a different level of touch than what you get on the Prodigy bags. So I think DD did an excellent job. This bag beat my expectations. If I'm just being honest, I see a bag for 80, 90 bucks, something like that, and it is hard for me to have high expectations. And I think that this bag about hit where I thought it would. At first, some frustration dealing with those discs, super boxy feel, but then with some of those tweaks that I talked about, it seems like a killer bag. So I think DD did great. I hope that I've answered any and all questions you might have about this bag and helped you make a decision whether it's the right one for you. I appreciate hitting that subscribe button, giving me the thumbs up. Write me a comment if you've got a question that I didn't answer today, or a suggestion for some other video you'd like to see. And that's it. Thanks for watching.